Eric, what is your explanation for the poor performance this evening from your team?
No, it's clear. When we make such mistakes, it's very difficult to win a football game.
Why do you think you made so many mistakes this evening? Did the atmosphere have any influence on it?
I don't know, but it's obvious, but it can't be. The fans can expect that we can deal with it. So I won't say that's an explanation for it. So we have to do better, and that is a demand.
The start in particular seemed maybe a little nervy, quite bad. It got the Sevilla crowd up. Why do you think, were they not ready for the occasion?
Once again, I can't say, but you have seen what I have seen. Huh? We were not composed, we were not calm. Once you beat the press, you're huge spaces on the pitch, but we didn't do it in the start, and it was so obvious how to do it.
If it was obvious how to do it, why do you think your players couldn't then regain control and regain that composure as the half went on?
Bad decisions, and then comes that also we lose the battles. They had more passion and more desire, more willingness. For instance, like the second goal. And then it's difficult to win big football games.
How worrying is it for you that these decisions, these errors, they happen at the end of the first leg, they happen again this evening? Is that indicative of a deeper problem, or is this just a bad evening?
No, it's a problem. We can't run away from it, and we have to acknowledge it. But Sunday we have another opportunity to work on that, and we have to step up and show more character and personality.
Obviously, you're missing several first-choice players this evening. How much of an impact do you think that had on the performance and the result?
It's not about them. It's about the players who are on the pitch, and they have to perform. And I believe in them, I trust them, and then they have to show. But today, we were not good enough.
The players that came in then, has their performance this evening, has that changed your opinion on them? Do you still trust them?
Yes, because we showed so many occasions, good performance and good wins. But tonight, and also we had some occasions more, and that we were not ready for the game. And can't be when you are on this level, when you're playing for Manchester United, you have to be ready for every game. And especially this is a great opportunity, this is a great occasion, quarter-final Europe, to win something, and then you give it away. So we have to blame ourselves.
Given particularly the first leg performance, how big a missed opportunity is this?
Huge, but it's gone, and we can't change it anymore. And we have to look forward to Sunday, because there's coming a next opportunity.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
No, it's difficult to say that tonight. When you come to these places, you expect to take example from your experienced players. Right from the very first minute, the goalkeeper, David De Gea, he kicks the ball out, and from then on, he's a nervous wreck. This is one of your most experienced, top Spain goalkeeper in his own country. You don't expect that type of thing. And that they just couldn't handle the aggression of a brilliant Sevilla team tonight.
Right from the word go, were Manchester United's second best, Owen?
First of all, I got to say, Sevilla were brilliant today. The crowd were brilliant. They rose to the occasion. This place is absolutely bouncing. You can see why, when they come here, it's a fortress. It's hard to play against. And the thing is, Manchester United weren't ready from the first minute. They didn't manage the occasion. They were nervous. They made mistakes. They were second best in every phase of the game. And the better team won. You know, they just had... That was... I don't think any of us saw that coming. And this was lost in the second half at Old Trafford. They could have been up 3 or 4-0. And they could have been out of sight. And then they come here with this crowd, and they weren't ready, Jules, from the first minute, and it showed, and you got punished.
Credit to Sevilla. They came, as you say, from 2-0 down in the first leg at Old Trafford. They have completely turned this game on its head, and they're the team going through to the semi-finals. How have Manchester United managed to completely throw this away when they were so comfortable in that first 60 minutes at home?
I'd say the first half, on the come to win the game, should have been done. If you look over the two games, the 2 own goals he gave away, 2 calamitous goals here tonight, it's been an absolute disaster of a quarter-final. We always mention the history of this club. I still think Manchester, I'll say it again, Manchester are a better team than these. But tonight, they were outfought, outplayed, lacked the ability to take the ball, and were so sloppy in the ball and lacked aggression in their own play. And as I said, you turn to experienced players on nights like this to try and get some leadership from them. Martinez missing tonight was a big miss. Varane, with his experience, was a big miss. We still expected them two to come in. They've got great experience to be good enough. Tonight they wasn't, and looking at tonight, I think it's made Ten Hag's mind up on a few of these players, which probably the only help he get from tonight. Atmosphere, how aggressive it was. But there's none of them fans on the football pitch. They can't affect anything that happens. They shouldn't be able to affect anything on the football pitch. Manchester United just weren't ready. If I'm seeing that crowd, I'm thinking, what are that team like when they come out? What are they going to play like? And it's quite obvious they're going to be aggressive, they're going to get after you, they're going to have to tackle you. So I'm going to have to be ready. I'm going to have to make sure my first touch is right. De Gea kicks the ball out of play. Jadon Sancho, sloppy in possession 3 or 4 times, bad way to pass, bad touch, and it set the tone for the rest of the night. Now, if you're a Manchester United player, you've got to be able to handle atmospheres like this. You know, there's a waste of time you've been in, because you're going to get this all the time. People are desperate to beat Manchester United. They've lost to a team who are 13th in La Liga. They've already beat 2 Spanish teams, 3 Spanish teams, if you count Sociedad. They beat the team who were top of the league, Barcelona, quite comfortably.
But Scholes, they played like the season was on the line. They played like this was the game of their season. United, I don't know why they didn't. It's a huge week for them, obviously, with the Europa League, and then they've got the FA Cup on the weekend. But it looked like Sevilla played like everything was at stake.
Yeah,
like you said, United, they just weren't ready, which... I mean, Jules, you said in the link before it was a disaster. It was a disaster. They were second best in every phase. It
probably just goes to show that when it comes to the bigger games, if they've got injuries, then the squad probably isn't strong enough. We missed Bruno tonight. Bruno is one player who will take the ball, he control the ball, he control play at times. He's been in fantastic form the last 3 or 4 weeks. He was a big miss, but there are other leaders out there. This squad can handle other games, don't get me wrong. You look at Forest on Sunday, great, handled it really well. But when it comes to the crunch in big games, big atmospheres, it seems that they just fall short.
Was every player off it tonight for you, for Manchester United?
I thought, to be fair, I thought Anthony worked incredibly hard. Obviously, offensively, didn't create anything, no shots on target. But again, the little things that add up in a game, Jules. They were second best. They didn't win any 1v1s. Offensively, didn't win any tackles, didn't win any second balls. They were poor on set pieces. They made individual errors, Jules. You can go through the list. But basically, they didn't tick any of those boxes. And I think that's the one thing that was surprised Erik ten Hag, is the fact that they were second best in so many phases.
Throughout the season, we've had these days throughout the season where it's been a little bit disastrous, but I still feel that Ten Hag is doing things right, and I think they're going in the right direction. As I said before, this has helped him. This will help him summer-wise. He knows just by looking at that game tonight, probably that first 20 minutes, he needs better players to fill his squad.
Well, the thing is as well, you saw obviously Martial, in the first game he played brilliant, didn't he? He was probably the best player. All of a sudden, he's dropping a little bit too deep, and then he gets injured, and then Weghorst come on. The summer, Manchester United desperately need a number 9, and I'm sure they're going to address that. And the depth is obviously a big thing. But I think Erik ten Hag's done a brilliant job. Obviously, in the league, they're in a great spot. But today is a difficult one. Today's a sore one because it could have been so different. In the first leg, they just gave it away. And to be fair, to come to a place like this when you need a result showed how difficult it is. That's why these guys have won 6 Europa Leagues, because this stadium and players, they grabbed the occasion, and United didn't do that.
Yeah, as you say, Paul, they were just second best to everything tonight, Manchester United, and this isn't their first choice team. They have got injuries, there's suspensions in the side as well. What are those key areas that you think he needs to address sooner rather than later?
Well, I think Owen's right in the centre forward position. I think that's quite clear. I think Anthony Martial's a talented lad, but I think when the going gets tough, when he's really got to dig in, he doesn't quite have the heart for it. He didn't tonight. Again, I don't know how bad his injury is. He limped off. He could be training tomorrow. He could be out for 6 months. He's one of them. You just don't know. And I think in other areas, you're looking defensively. I think the right back position is a little bit of a problem for him. He's changing all the time between Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. I don't think he's sure on either of them. You have to question the goalkeeper, especially tonight. I think Ten Hag, eventually he will want to play out from the back. Now, David De Gea has been a fantastic goalkeeper, but he's not a fantastic footballer. You see the pass he played into Harry Maguire. Look, it's not a bad pass, I know Harry Maguire wanted it, but you have to read the situation. You have to read what's going on in the stadium. It's not a place.
This was 8 minutes into the game starting.
Exactly. Early, you've got to get a great start. Now, look, he wants the ball, Harry Maguire. I don't know why he wants the ball. As I said before, there's hardly any, if any. I'd say one centre half in world football who is good at receiving the ball. He's back to play. They're just uncomfortable.
I don't think he should call for the... You see him, he's calling for the ball. He shouldn't call for the ball there. Eric Ten Hag wanted him to play, so that's why David plays it to him. But the point is, if he's going to receive it, he's got to receive it on his back foot, and he's got to turn out. What he tries to do is just trying to flip it around the corner, and that's a turn of possession. There's 3 opposition players that you can't play there, just kick it.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless of the manager wanting to play, read the situation. Read the atmosphere, read what's going on.
Scholesy, that was Brentford.
An experienced player.
That was Brentford.
The old game was Brentford. You said it before.
Trying to play up from the back when it's not on. Just clear your lines.
Read the situation. You read what's happening. It's not a place for that. Now look, the best teams in the world, Manchester City did probably. Pep would say, go on, it's up. This isn't the game for that, because that's exactly what they wanted to be. They fell into the trap of playing those passes because they were so aggressive at getting to the ball and very good at doing it. And look, as I said, Man United fell into the trap. It just weren't good enough.
Do you blame those mistakes on quality, or do you blame that on miscommunication between the players because they don't play together as often as, say, Martinez and Varane with De Gea?
You're being very kind there, Jules, to the players, because you got to know when you can play. The big difference between the really good players and the great players and the special ones is the good players make the right decision in the right moment. Today, in the big moments, they didn't make the right decision. David shouldn't play that ball in there. It's not on. The manager said he wants him to play, but it's not on. Don't play in there. Just kick it up. Harry Maguire, don't even ask for the ball in there. Just clear your lines. Grow into the game. You know, this atmosphere we said before the game was hostile, was brilliant, and they didn't manage the occasion. They made sloppy errors, and it snowballed, and it just started to get worse and worse.
Manchester United will be desperate to get back out on the pitch and just put everything right that went wrong tonight. But just picking out a few of the things that Eric Ten Hag said there, these type of performances are a problem. You've both already mentioned Brentford, and there have been others that we can talk about from this season. Why do they keep happening?
Well, I think the Brentford game was very early unwanted. I don't think we can judge the team on that, but I think the manager there just said exactly what we've said. They were not ready for the game right from the first whistle. They lacked composure, and they could not handle the aggression of Sevilla, which was, we've got to give them credit. They were absolutely brilliant tonight. They could have beat any team tonight. I thought Ocampos on the right hand side was sensational. And he's also right in the fact saying sometimes these squad players have been good enough. On Sunday they were good enough.
That's why it's so perplexing, isn't it? Why is it that sometimes we see these players out on the pitch and they put in a performance like that, and on other days they can win? I mean, it was pretty much the same team as on Sunday.
Well, I think this football club was built, you know, they're champions for a reason, because champions are consistent. You know, Man United have some brilliant moments this season, but they've had 5 or 6 games which frighten you, which champions can't have. So I think that's been the biggest issue. Eric Ten Hag nailed it, I think, in that interview. You know, he demands more. He demands standards, and today those standards, they weren't there. You know, that was almost as bad as it could have got. And to be fair, Sunday is a huge game. They've got to pick themselves up. You know, it's a huge week. Obviously, today has gone as bad as it could have gone. They need to sort it out, analyse it, and get ready for a tough game on Sunday.
Yeah.